more Piedmont Park context. And as was mentioned yesterday, that this part of Atlanta was once part of the Cherokee Nation. You know, in the 1830s, we had Indian removal, right, inside the United States. The first white owner of this territory was a Dr. Benjamin Walker, who acquired the property in the 1830s. Then in 1881, he turned it over, 1887, excuse me, he turned it over to the Piedmont Driving Club, which was a club of sportsmen, particularly having their horse stable nearby, and this was supposed to be an area for them to have a good time, right? They cooperated with the Piedmont Exposition Club, Piedmont Expedition Company in 1887 for the second Cotton States Exposition, the first one being in 1881. You know, those expositions were to kind of promote this whole concept of the New South. The South rising up again, with Atlanta being the beacon of that. When we go and do our tour downtown for the 1906 race ride, you see the statue of Henry Grady, and he's the one who promoted this concept in Atlanta for the most part, right? But you'll see that tomorrow. Coming up to 1895 and the Washington speech, and Tim gave you a little context for that. And what's the racial climate in 1895? What's going on inside the United States? Of course, you know the next year will be what? Plessy versus Ferguson, and that's just a sign that legal segregation is really being institutionalized. Another thing are lynchings. Just that year in 1895, there were 113 lynchings inside the United States. It was something that's pretty common in the culture that particular time in the United States of America. So if you think about it, we're sitting here in a multiracial audience. Was it a multiracial audience in 1895?
Yeah, probably.
Were black and white folks, I see black and white folks sitting together.
Oh, no. He was...
Right, Booker T. Washington speaking, right? And then you have a colored section, right? So at that time, you're going to have a segregated audience. To most white folks, an African-American speaker coming to speak in 1895, that would have been pretty unusual, wouldn't you think? Okay, and there was some apprehension with Washington coming forward. But then this speech is widely held after he completes his speech. We have any volunteers to read an excerpt from the speech that Tim gave us? Yes.